Welcome everybody to Adrift in Aldhalor, our weekly actual play D&D show set in our homebrew world of Aradun. Our music is licensed through Musicbed.com, and occasionally we use Ambience from TabletopAudio or Syrinscape. But I'm going to bring Shannon in now to talk a little bit about our partners.
That's me. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday, or whenever you are watching this. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to start with our partners, and I'm going to start with Arcane Spectacles. Roll for initiative and check out Arcane Spectacles, your haven for all things TTRPG. Their personalized D&D themed Christmas ornaments will be a critical hit under your tree, even though it's not Christmas anymore, but you can have them all year round.
February tree.
Your February tree. Hey, to be
your
fair,
Valentine's tree.
My Christmas trees are still up. Yes.
Really? Oh, well, you have fake ones, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I was about to say that's a fire hazard.
Yeah, no. They're fake. There's no ornaments on them, and there actually weren't any. I got them up just in time to be pretty with the lights on. But anyway, these ornaments are great all year round. A great reminder of your amazing campaigns. You can customize these ornaments with your party's names to show up your adventuring party like never before. Don't miss out on your chance to level up your tabletop experience with Arcane Spectacles. Visit them at arcanespectacles.com. Next, we have Underground Oracle Publishing. They are a best-selling, Emmy-nominated TTRPG publisher building new and exciting settings for the cypher system of every genre you can imagine. Each setting includes everything you need to explore its unique world, including lore, descriptors, foci, creatures, ciphers, artifacts, and all of the rules that you need to play. For as little as $3, you can join their Patreon and help shape each of the worlds that they create. Next, we have Edward Yorke. Eddie Yorke is our character artist. You saw our art on our starting soon screen, and you'll see our art scrolling in just a moment. He's an illustrator based in the UK who makes art for games and books. To visit his portfolio and get in contact with him, visit eyorke.com. Last but not least, we have 1985 Games. They create affordable, accessible, high-quality accessories for D&D and other tabletop role-playing games. Sean uses their NPC cards. They're amazing. They've got things like secrets and personalities and quirks and flaws and goals. Good for me. I remember 3 of those. They have art on them too, and they're really great to help with your descriptions as you're telling your adventuring party about the people that they encounter. So if you'd like to purchase I just spit everywhere. If you would like to purchase those or any of their other amazing products, you can use the code paradiceprod for 10% off your entire order. Finally, before we jump right in here, if you have not joined us on Discord already, we have recaps every week that Sean writes for us. Nice little one-pagers that are quick ways to catch up on last week's episode or any of the previous episodes. And you can join us in Paradise, not only here on Twitch, but also on Bluesky, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, I already said that, Instagram, and TikTok.
Good job.
Thanks. I'm all done. Let's bring the other peeps in.
All right, look at them. Look, they're all here.
Look at those beautiful boys. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
All right, let's recap. On the 10th night of Inarum, the Slaughter Dawn, on Anenuanir. Last we left off, Iron and Mana attended the retirement gala for Dean Dante Furio at the Hyvin Academy. The evening started with a magic carriage ride, of course, provided by Sigil. The automaton-driven carriage brought the party to the Admiralty Court, where it circled the green a few times to ensure the party arrived fashionably late to this event. Sigil welcomed them to the well-attended and quite decadent party. Inside, it swelled with important people, food, drinks, stylish guests, and the party immediately scrambled around for all of it. Septimus and Fearon found themselves in the smoking lounge, of course, where academics gushed over Commodore Zura Umudori, the leader of the Asia region of Aldhalor and primary financier of the Academy and its projects. But these two found themselves looking at the sculptures depicting emotional faces on otherwise abstract bodies. A curator soon approached them to explain the work. Representations of the mortal experience of the event known as Sindanok, or the Morasir conflict, the ravaging of the heavens, when gods warred on the mortal plane and many witnessed the death of their own faith and God. Soon, a professor joined them and called the art bullshit. This is Sebastian Wendt, a new professor at the Academy in the field of Biologica. Elsewhere, Saskia devoured plate after plate of food at the cocktail hour while Bruce pursued champagne. Jacquette found a place to perch and wait for partygoers to approach him, like any socialite would do. And he soon found himself surrounded by the young fans of Jackie Touche, his bardic alter ego. Upon securing champagne, Bruce sought after Dean Bronin of the College of Artificing. He found the old giantkin Fomorian and struck up conversation. The old academic seemed invested in Bruce's introduction, asking questions about his inventions. He invited our kobold friend to meet him at a later date regarding potential enrollment in the college. It was at this point that the guest of honor arrived. Dante Furio entered with his apprentice and future replacement, Sylrin Chevalier. Furthermore, they unveiled Furio's greatest paintings from his career, now donated to the school. One said painting drew the eye of Fearn, as it depicted the Triton Caldera, a well-known landmark of the Northlands, Fearn's home. This drew Fearn in, and he followed Saskia to meet the pair of deans. The two saddled with Sigil at the end of the bar in the direct path of the two guests of honor as they made their rounds. Sigil introduced them. Though spry and even jovial, Dante did seem quite weak and forgetful as he regaled and questioned Fearn about the Northlands. Saskia introduced herself to Sylrin and expressed her admiration for another Shallow's Gaunt local. Sylrin grew eager to know more about Sass given their mutual home. Though Sass nervously fumbled over her words, Sylrin still invited her to come talk at any time, remarking that it can be lonely so far from home. The party shifted to dinner at this point, and soon after, music. Saskia and Jacquette joined each other on the dance floor and began gossiping about the love lives of the deans. The guests grew more drunk and full as the night went on. Jacquette turned his attention now to the Commodore, and Saskia took Sal to the dance floor, the automaton not quite sure how to have any kind of rhythm. As Jacquette danced with Umidori, eventually a conversation broke out and turned towards business. He implied interest in dealing with Mr. Greaves as a potential nuisance to the Commodore. With this, she invited him and the party to stop by her offices at a later date to talk in private. But she finished the dance with a warning to the Tabaxi to be careful who he trusts. Elsewhere, a curious professor began chatting with Bruce and Septimus regarding their artificing inventions. This is Coralius Ferma, an artificer who, with unique interest in Septimus's mechanical arm and the mechanical companion Sal. Interested parties and important opportunities blossom surrounding Iron and Mana on the fine evening of celebration. They find themselves towards the third act of tonight's party. And dessert. So, this is where we left off, though, with the conclusion of Jacquette and the Commodore's dance and this conversation with Bruce and Septimus. So I'd say at this point, the dancing seems to be quieting down and groups are forming into clusters around tables. The four of you most likely reconvene at your table. Jacquette, you, if you wish, can join them or continue lone wolfing it throughout the party. Of course, there's other folks here too, besides the ones I mentioned. The other deans and Cadmus are also here, as well as Essa, Hyvin, and a few other professors. as well as a whole cohort of grad students and apprentices, and a few non-academics here as well. So, you all gather together. There is dessert being served, just a very, very simple and elegant white cake with a very, very delicious and sweet frosting. So, you were all together.
Does anybody not want theirs? Because I'll eat it. This is fucking delicious.
You can have mine. A
Thank
little
you.
too sweet for my taste.
Oh, so good. Is there water or anything? Whew, I was dancing a lot.
There's some on that person's table over there.
Perfect.
Garçon.
One of the
Motions over a
waiters
waiter.
would come over. What do you need, sir?
Some water for my friends, please.
Ah, of course, of course. Is regular water okay, or would you prefer elemental water?
Elemental.
Elemental water it is.
Can I also get one of those jumbo-sized champagne flutes I saw?
I'm afraid those are uniquely Dean Bronin's. You would need to ask him for one.
Yeah, all right. Give me 2 small ones then.
As you wish. Champagne for anyone else?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Fabulous.
For you, sir, or is water fine?
Water's perfect.
All right.
Ooh.
And this older gentleman saunters away to go get you some champagne. And the elemental water, when he brings it back, it at first you might think this is just fucking water. This guy's they're fucking with us. But if you take a sip of it, you would find that it does leave a slight tingling sensation on your tongue. And it almost feels as though it's slightly carbonated. And just is a little, some of you may like it. Some of you might find it a little off-putting since it's not normal water. But it is definitely different. And the closer you look at it, it does have a very, very, very faint glow to it.
Yeah, I heard that.
Level up.
No, but it is very wasteful of elemental water.
Yeah, I was about to say. I read that you could use this in alchemical creations.
Blah. Here, you
It's
can
kind of
have
a
it.
haze
As,
for it.
as he's saying that, Septimus,
I don't like it.
not taking a sip, is pouring it into a vial in the sack.
Jacquet's like, oh no, that's good. Maybe we should order another round and sell it on the second-hand market,
I think it's a
Here,
great idea.
Septimus, for the cake. I don't make my tongue feel weird. I don't like it.
Well, it's also delicious, but
This would be a good base for some experimenting in alchemy.
Ooh.
well, at least try it before you.
I am not putting anything elemental in my body. After what we've seen,
Hey.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, an elemental brought my body back to life, so to each their own, right?
So, what's next for this party? Is any other events? Also, nice
I
job dancing
assume-
out there, Saskia.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's
Jacquet, you too. I said you were a little further out of my range of vision, so
We were dancing together for half of it.
yeah. Well, I only pay attention so much.
Thank you, Bruce. It's a pastime of mine that I very much enjoy.
You all would look to the dance floor, and while it is not really populated anymore, Sal is still dancing. And you can see some people ogling him. Some people are like, oh my, is that a machina? And others being like, oh, those dance moves are quite good. As it is very blocky and not quite on beat or rhythm, but he is doing his best and seems to, for not having a face to express emotions, seems to be enjoying himself.
Is he like waltzing by himself? What is
Yep.
he doing?
Basically, he's doing a
Okay.
combination of waltzing by himself, and you can clearly, if you watch him long enough, can see that he looks to be practicing, because he will stop and then like start over at certain points, and then occasionally he seems to break out into a more organic dance for him that does very much so look like the robot in real life.
Hell yeah.
He's a quick learner, Septimus. I just taught him all that.
Oh, I've actually never seen him do something so enjoyfully.
Do you and Sal like play games together? Like, what do you engage in any joyful activities living in your house?
He was just mostly someone I could talk to, or he didn't talk back, but just having somebody feel like they're listening.
Best
no.
kind of friend.
Jeez.
That was a joke, okay? Come on. Crescent heart above. How low is your opinion of me?
It's getting lower every day.
Oh, fuck you.
What's everyone's passive perception, actually? Just so I can have that as a
32.
note.
Oh, sorry, wrong.
14.
14 teen as well.
My
15.
my passive investigation is 20.
That's not what he asked for.
Alright. It's 12.
Bjorn
Also 12.
and Jacques.
15.
Okay, so that'll come in handy later. For now, you all would see. For now, you will all see. You do notice that the torches that are up on the walls and the candled chandelier at the top all begin to dim. As the lights around the head table and dais begin to get brighter, somewhat magically. As the room seems to quiet down throughout. And I am going to roll a quick check for something.
While you do that, as it gets quieter, Septimus kind of trying to get eye contact with Sal, be like, all right, now it's time to stop. Come over.
Sal is just continuing to dance until eventually you would see he makes eye contact with you and his arms just kind of like immediately drop down to his sides. And he just very, very like a march robotically comes back to the table and sits with you all.
Hey, did you guys sense like a mood change in the room?
That's the vibe I was getting. I hope I read the room correctly.
I think maybe a speech of some sort, I would guess, is in order. I mean, this is a send-off party, right?
As the sweet sense of the dessert replaced the rich smell of dinner, drunkenness dampening the guests, as one could compare the room more to a reveler's feast, the crowd quiets as Commodore Umidori stands at the dais. You're correct. Speeches. The Commodore is a stoic woman, so she doesn't speak long. But she goes up there, and the room does truly quiet down for this, as her voice echoes a bit louder than you would expect, likely from some magical amplification. Though the room is not too large that she needs to be as loud as possible. We're here tonight to honor a great academic who's contributed to our society. Dante Furio not only contributed to the arts and our understanding of history, but was a delight for all who would know him. He's responsible for some of the beautification of the Admiralty Court. I know I personally have one of his sculptures in my manor. As she looks and smiles to him, and you can see his wrinkled face just gets just tighter with a smile as his eyes disappear into his eyebrows. And most important, I suppose, is the bravery of a man to stand up to the augury of Kiranor and the eminent houses of Halcyon. So much so that he is banned from those lands. He would be arrested immediately upon entering the city of Halcyon. To your work, and to a happy retirement. Somewhere warm, hopefully. She nods, and there's some clapping throughout as she goes up and gives a bit of a stern handshake to Dante Furio. Everyone with a passive perception of 14 or higher would notice something towards the ceiling. You see the chandelier shift a bit. And then suddenly you would see something walking on the ceiling as if it was walking on the ground. A round, golden fellow is walking on the ceiling right now. The Monodrone has escaped the library, one might say, and is walking on the ceiling as if it's the ground right now. As far as you can tell, the audience around you is not noticing him and is paying attention mostly to the speeches that are happening. But you do notice that the Monodrone is walking around and he looks lost. He looks lost and like he might be looking for someone. Would anyone like to do anything about it, or are you just going to keep an eye on him? I guess, Bruce, you don't see this. The ceilings are too tall.
Yeah, no.
If I can't perceive that he looks like he's lost and not just kind of observing and taking notes down, Septimus kind of like tilt his head and he would lean over to Bruce and tell him what he sees. He's like, Monodrone is actually up in the ceiling. He looks lost. Are you able to send something to him? Ask if he's okay, or do you need to see him? Forget.
Yeah, I could try. I just have to guess where he is. That's Bruce is just gonna, put a little thing in his ear and, hey.
You get somebody who's on the second floor of the building.
Who is this? How have you contacted me through my head?
How are you speaking to me during bath time?
Only my mother's allowed to do that.
No. You would find the magic take hold, and you can speak to Monodrone.
Hey, Monodrone.
Oh, is that Bruce? Hello, Bruce.
It is I. What are you doing here?
I'm afraid I'm a bit lost. I'm a bit lost right now.
How did you get lost?
I grew distracted, and then I realized that I broke my oath to Septimus. I have not been updating Mr. Jacquet about my findings every hour, so I came looking for him. I vaguely understood your presences to be around this part, but in getting in the building, I seem to... I don't know where I am.
Hold on. We might have to mend that oath. Give me 1 second. Septimus, he's looking for you. And he said he's broke his oath with you, trying to update you every hour.
So just like chuckle to himself. Tell him that we're preoccupied right now. That he can hold the update for later. If he can make his way back to the library, he may do so if he wishes.
Hey, Monodrone. For the next couple of hours, you can break the oath. We just need you to get back to the library. All right.
I certainly hope that
only
Septimus is
these
not upset
2
with
hours.
me.
He's gonna be upset with you if you don't get back to the library.
He has every right to strike me down for breaking the oath.
That probably won't happen, but continue to get back to the library, and everything will be great, and your oath will remain.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I will have to update Mr. Jacquet all at once then later.
Yes, the same goes for Jacquet.
What are you guys muttering over there? Did you see fucking Monodrone is up on this?
Where's that window that I came in from?
He would mention to Jacquet, it's like, yes, Bruce is messaging him right now. He's trying to lead him out of here before he's spotted.
Okay.
And you would see Monodrone does do a 180 twirl on one foot and just starts to march. And you see he eventually gets to the edge of the ceiling and would find the window he came in through and disappear into the night.
Could I just scan the room to see, like, as this is happening, like, if anybody else is noticing what's going on?
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Seven.
As far as you can tell, no one in the audience seems to have been looking upwards. It seems that the dimmed lights and the speeches, and probably a lot of the drunkenness, has kept folks from spotting him. They've had their attention focused on the stage as Silrin has been giving a speech at this point and is coming to the close of her speech.
What about Silrin on stage?
Silrin seems preoccupied with her speech. Like, you could definitely tell that she doesn't seem to be noticing. Really, the only reason you all noticed him is possibly because you have seen him before, and
We're
it just
heroes.
and your heroes too. I mean, some of these deans are quite powerful and would have good perceptions, but they are pretty preoccupied. Whereas you all are sort of half foot in, half foot out, not 100% part of this community. But Silrin is completing her speech as she was talking about the mentorship that Dante gave to her, as she would be finishing up now. His work impressed many and imparted a wealth of emotion, and he always looked to those less fortunate. To be a leader, a source of opportunity, and a source of joy. And his new endeavors, which hopefully I'll still be able to help him with in his retirement, in cartomancy and canvamancy, will hopefully flourish so that he can finish his last book. To a great man and an even better friend, as the group all claps now. And finally, Silrin helps Dante up for him to give his farewell speech. As he seems weaker even now that he's standing up on the dais. He looks small, and it's difficult for him to stay standing, so Silrin needs to help him. He's like, thank you, every one of you, for coming tonight to celebrate me and this school we all work tirelessly to support. I am afraid I'm a bit tired and a bit drunk, truthfully. But that is what these nights are for with friends. Always celebrate curiosity, the wider world, and understanding, and what inspires you to adventure forth, whether it's into books in the library, mysterious forests of the far lands, or the great sea. Always remember why you do what you do. And you can come find me on the beach sometime. But here's to some restful years before the end. And there's a bit of somber with that last line. as you see just a man tired with nearly 2 centuries of age as a half-elf, and really, truly looking forward to rest. But there's a final clap and a standing ovation for him, as you can see the Commodore hands to him a framed certificate of achievement, and seems to exchange several gifts with him that are not necessarily publicly displayed, but are likely just nice symbols of his service to the university. But the party does seem to be winding down now, as people aren't leaving necessarily. People are continuing to enjoy drinks and socializing, but Silrin has taken Dante out, who is likely going to retire for the evening. And it seems like the Commodore is leaving as well, as she gathers her things, and a few people who you didn't notice before just sort of show up next to her and start to escort her out. They are armed with swords at their waists. Some personal guard, most likely. But everyone else is still here, at least for now. If there's anything else you would like to do at the gala, or anyone else you'd like to speak to here, otherwise it is largely coming to a close. As you're approaching 10 o'clock, I'd say.
I'm going to be honest, friends. This has been quite a draining evening when it comes to talking to other people, and I'm just fucking tired, so I'm going to take some food to go, and I'm gonna go to bed. I think I'm tired. What is it called? And I signal a waiter, and I'm like, do you by chance have any of those, what the fuck are they called? Puppy satchels, things that you put like food in to go?
Doggy bags.
That's it. Yes. Do you have any of that?
I do. I should.
the waiter. The waiter's like,
own doggy bags.
The waiter's like, there's.
He has a bag, a doggy bag of holding.
I'm afraid we don't have any to-go containers.
All right.
What about
It's
a
just
massive meal?
It's just a sack.
No, it's perfect.
got a nice liner on the inside. It's
Great.
fine.
Great, thanks.
Well, we can all leave together. I was just going to say some goodbyes, and we can meet out while they're. If you want to go get the carriage, that'll take us back to the Cask and Crow.
Does anybody want to talk to the one dean that we haven't spoken to tonight? I think her
Kieran,
name was...
I literally just said I'm all peopled out.
Yeah.
No.
Well, anybody else?
I was just gonna say my goodbyes and then leave.
All right.
Sometimes it's better not to engage with every NPC the DM puts out there.
I just figured, this is our chance to, talk to the people who are in charge.
There's certainly other things to discover here, if you have an interest.
I'm gonna point everywhere on the screen and just click everywhere that looks like it's supposed to be an important object.
Yep, and I'll just like in Baldur's Gate, there'll be one-liners that do not lead to dialogue options.
There's my dog.
Until you find the secret NPC that's hiding behind a table, under a table, and is got a whole tree to it. But things do seem to be closing out, as you can see some of the people that you met tonight heading out. I would say Silrin does return and does seem to leave with Aoife, the Dean of Naturalism, that you the one you have not met yet. Ronan,
as people.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as people are leaving, Jacques is trying to do a quick round, almost like making up for time. And it literally is nothing past saying, Jacques Touchard with Iron and Mana. I hope to better acquaint with you on some other date. But he's just realizing that he did not actually engage with anyone, instead just surrounded himself with meaningless sycophants the entire time. So he's just going to go around and do that, more just to introduce himself than to have any, I'll say, meaningful conversations.
Yes. And you can go around and say your goodbyes to the deans and anyone of note that we've mentioned.
Right. Yeah. Anyone he met, and he'll probably like pass by the undergrads and be like, check out my show 2 Thursdays from now at the Harlequin and Chalice, or look for posters. I might be playing somewhere else in the near future. Only time will tell. And the posters, they'll tell you. So look for the posters.
And your fans adore you.
Of course they do. I mean, of course they do.
And most of the important people you are talking to now either are drunk or have a good buzz that they are in that state of being excited to meet somebody. And many of them have heard of Iron and Mana, of course. So it's that moment of when you say, hello, I'm Jacques Touchard, they're like, okay. And then you say, oh, Iron and Mana. And they're like, oh, your Sigel's project. Or something, or they'll actually know you from the parade and your performances. But as they're leaving, Bruce, Dean Bronin would sort of catch your eye from across the party. You might not catch him though.
Yeah, I was about to say.
As Septimus, I'd say you notice that Dean Bronin gives a little like nod to Bruce, as Bruce is just sort of like, I imagine, just sitting there and like looking directly at him, but not.
Hey, Bruce, I think
Huh?
Dean Bronin maybe wants to talk to you. He's giving you a look.
Oh, where is he?
He's right over there.
Oh.
Actually, this would be probably perfect time for me to introduce myself as well.
Yeah. Why don't you come over with me? Bring Sal with you too.
So,
Okay. And as you approach Dean Bronin, he is there with his partner, Prina, the bugbear woman, who's also the Dean of Agriculture and Working Animals. She kind of, as you approach, gives him a kiss on the cheek and then steps away because she knows he's about to nerd out with some nerds. And as you approach, he looks to you, Bruce, and says, well, it was a pleasure to meet you earlier, Bruce. Rebellin, right? That was the name?
Hey, yes. I'm glad you remember me. It was a pleasure meeting you as well. I hope that we can work something out in the future for the Academy and the School of Artificing. This is my friend Septimus, who I spoke very briefly about, and this is his Machina, Sal.
pleasure to meet you. Thought I'd come introduce myself before the end of the night.
He holds out his hand for you to shake it. His hand is, of course, massive and takes up your whole forearm. And he would look to you and then look to Sal. And granted, he is a bit drunk. As he looks, he goes, oh, gracious. Old gods and new gods. Machina companion. I have not seen this sort of Machina. The only ones that I know of are Sigel's clockwork ones, but they're less alive than this one. As you can see, he's like staring into Sal's eyes. Very interesting. And then he finally kind of looks. He finally actually looks at you, like he seemed to like completely be distracted by Sal when you introduced him.
As much as I would love to take credit for the design, I came upon Sal. Not quite sure of his origins. However, when it comes, yes, has
Even
given
more
me
impressive.
much inspiration for some works that I've done.
And that there on your back, also your work.
This is, and one of those inspirations I had just mentioned. Through the study of, his name is Sal. Yeah, through Sal.
Sal. Well, I'm a bit too drunk, and it's not the appropriate place to look closer.
Of course. I just thought that I put a face to the name. Because
Yes.
Bruce had mentioned that he mentioned me, and it looked like you were trying to say goodbye, and his sight's a little,
Limited.
Ah,
I was going to say non-existent.
Yeah. That too. Bronan, sorry, Dean. Bronan. Here's my business card. If you need to contact me.
he takes it. Good.
Do you know how it works? Have you seen one of these
Yes.
before?
I can say, I mean, a calling card. Yes, I've seen a calling card before. It has information on it. That's how it works. I can know where to
Yeah,
find
but
you.
there's space at the bottom right there, and if you write a message, I'll get it in my head.
Oh, very interesting. As he's like looking at it, and he's like, a very useful enchantment here, lad. But yes, I will write to you then when I am available, and when you're in the library with Sigil or visiting campus, you can always let them know at the front gates, and if I'm available, I can meet with you. And he looks to you, Septimus, and goes, I'd also be happy to work with you on helping with the... as he looks to your missing arm, with your arm, if you so wish to work on a prosthesis. It's one of my specialties. It's creating tools to help in these
Yeah,
situations.
I don't know what to do with the. Yeah, I want to replace this.
And he just sort of nods and it was lovely to have met you. Thank you for entertaining me with this goodbye. Wanted to make sure we spoke before we left again.
Yes, Jacques Touchard. I'm also a member of Iron and Mana. Dean Bronan, yes? I just wanted to come through and say it was a pleasure seeing you dance on the floor, and I hope that we can work together sometime in the near future.
Okay. He seems like significantly less interested in you, Jacques. You're the bard, correct?
You can call me whatever you'd like. I am the, a bit of a leader to these poor souls. But yes.
Is that so?
I practice the bardic arts.
Oh, very nice. Oh, it's more interesting to... I suppose that is interesting enough. And you can see, like, his cheeks get a little red in the sense that he's just sort of, like, definitely realized how drunk he is in trying to talk to Jacques here. Is, I do think I must retire. Well, although I need to wait for my partner, Brenna. As Brenna actually went over to the table before Jacques approached, and actually would have stopped to where Fearn and Sass are for a moment. As I imagine as Sass is gathering up food. Yeah.
Very embarrassed, taking all the bread from the bread basket and just kind of putting it in the bag.
As you're grabbing food and whatnot, like no one else is by the food because it's like done now. And in fact, like you have to grab some of it off of the trays before the waiters take it away to the back.
Yeah. Wait. Let me take that off your hands. You're just going to throw it away. Like, I'll take it.
Fion's trying to be like a human wall so people don't notice what she's doing.
And it's at that point that Brenna actually is walking directly towards you, Fearn, as you're concealing Saskia stealing food. But she would come up and immediately to you, Fearn, and say, You're the northerner, right?
Yeah, I liked your speech, Silrin. Good job.
Oh, this is not Silrin, this is Brenna. This is the bugbear.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Hi, Brenna. I think I don't know who you are. Who are you?
we have not met. Brenna, Brenna Mordak, head of the Agricultural and Working Animals Guild, but I also find myself to be occasionally a hunter and explorer. I've gone on some trips to the north, not too far, but when I went on Dante's last trip up there, and I just wanted to say hello before stepping away. I've read a lot of books on your people in the north. By any chance, what clan are you from?
I'm a glacierman myself. It's interesting. I haven't met many people, Southerners, that know of my clans.
Some of us in the academy have a lot of interest in the Northlands. Particularly, I mean, from my perspective, I'm interested in the food systems of the North, but also the creatures, the animals, mammoths, vast creatures. Heard of the ice dragons of the North as well, and some of the larger sea life that lives in those colder waters. I've heard stories of whales that could take out a whole ship.
I don't know much about the shoreline, but I've traveled the mountains pretty extensively. Seen a few frost salamander hunts in my day.
Yes. Well, I'm particularly interested in some of the history of your people. It's one of the harshest environments in Aldhalor, yet your people survived there, even in the dark days.
Well, the spirits bless us, and we have a naturally powerful constitution, so we make do. I mean, our traditions are based primarily around survival, so our code, our ways of living, are meant to keep our people alive for as long as possible. I think that's why we're also very serious when it comes to upholding these truths.
Well, most of my experience with your people are with the merchants, less with the northern islands themselves. Perhaps
Yes,
one day.
you would usually, you may have met a glacierman before, perhaps, I think it's an axe bearer is the
Axe
third.
lords.
Axe lord.
I'm sorry
Yes.
to correct you on your own culture, but
No, yes, of course. The the axe lords are mostly who you would have met down there. Clans are very different from one another. I'd be happy to share some of my knowledge someday if you're interested.
certainly, I'm sure there will be opportunities here at the academy as well for you with such knowledge.
You said you were a part of the agriculture study.
Yes.
Were you involved with taking in some spiritually empowered raccoon creatures a couple of months ago?
Ah, yes. Yes, indeed. I have tended to those rascals. They've caused quite a bit of trouble in our stables, in our yards. Terribly difficult creatures to tame. They tend to find their way into crevices and then set fires, freeze things. We're still working on it, but they're quite happy right now.
I was very impressed with your facilities. I had no doubt that you would take good care of them. I find that keeping them fed does the most good.
Well, our facilities are waning these days as the funding goes to the School of Naturalism, it seems. But thankfully, I have protected them. I have protected my school from having our druids poached by them. I will not have druidic studies leave College of Agriculture and Working Animals. Not while I'm dean, at least.
I don't know much about druidicism, but I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. You were a pleasure to meet you.
And she goes to shake your hand, and then she sort of leans around you.
There's a clatter as I drop like the little serving spoon for the fruit. Fuck. Shit.
Yeah. And Sass, like the entire time that you're like up close to this smorgasbord of food, like out of your cheek, out of the barnacle is just the little like feet tendrils of the barnacle keeps coming out,
Nope.
trying
Nope.
to get some
Nope.
food. It seems.
Nope. Nope. Later. No. Go away. No.
As you would see a little like cup of elemental water that's left there, is you would just see it would get cloudy, and you would just see a little anglerfish eye staring at you from it.
Hi.
But then
Weird.
as you like blink your eyes and maybe rub them, it disappears.
Fuck, I've had too much champagne. I need to go. Oh.
Pranamodak.
Saskia. I kind of hold the satchel behind my back and put out a hand and try to be
I
formal.
apologize for that. This was totally my idea. I've never had your cuisine before. I'm as you know, I'm from the north. I've never had most of the things I've eaten. I was asking my friend here to collect some more samples for me. I was too busy talking to people all night. I didn't get a chance to eat much.
You see, she grins and she looks at you, Sass, and she gives you a wink. And then she like steps closer to you and is staring at your cheek as the little fronds are coming out. Is that a barnacle in your cheek?
What? No. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Fascinating.
It is. I can't get rid of it. It's pretty gross, and it's a hungry. Go away. It's a hungry little thing. This is not a very good first impression.
No. Don't be alarmed, dear. It's that you have a barnacle in your cheek. That's something.
Strange, I know, but I'm straight. Fearn, can we go now, please?
I'll let you go. It's nice to meet you formally, Fian and Saskia.
Yes.
Yes. Next
Me
time
too.
we'll speak more of my homeland, and maybe we can talk about what the Dean of Agriculture can do for the people of Hyvin.
Yeah. Well, I would love to have you and your party come to the pastures in our yards, but I must tend to my partner over there, who seems to be treading water over there with your other friends. As she nods and wanders over to the rest of you to loop her arm under Bronin's arm, and smiles to the other three of you, and leads him away.
Fearn, you didn't have to fucking cover like that. I mean, I appreciate it, but you didn't have to do that.
I wanted to. Now you have to share.
Fucking clever. Fucking clever. Also, it's really, really interesting to hear about your culture. You're a survivalist. It's pretty fucking cool.
Thanks.
I get it. It makes more sense.
Yeah, it's weird. When people ask
Weirder
me
than having
about
a
it,
barnacle in your face? Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, that's definitely pretty weird, but it just feels strange, talking about where I come from. Most people don't really care too much.
I'm sorry if we've made you feel that way. That our group here.
No. It's me. I have trouble, memories.
Sure, but if it makes you happy to talk about it, I'm happy to listen. I don't
Maybe.
remember much from my past, but I can tell you what I know. If you wanted to swap stories sometime, while we share this, and I hold up the bag of food.
Sure, let's do that.
Cool. Thank you for covering. I know I'm the weird friend that just steals food all the time, but I don't know if you know what it's like to feel hungry all the time, and when there's just so much food, it's just I can't resist. I just have to have it, even if it goes bad in my bag. I need to always have something there.
I get that. It's more relatable than whatever Jaquette was doing all night.
He was doing what he does best. He's good at talking to people. You're better at it than I am. I really need to go sit down. I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah, why don't you get a room at the Harlequin and Chalice tonight? Well, you deserve a real rest, you know.
No, I rest just fine at the hostel. It's fine. Well, come on, let's go find the others before it gets too late.
And
Yep.
a lot of you can reconvene by the exit and step outside where you can see Sigil is standing by the carriage to say his goodbyes and good night to you all. Iron and Mana. I suppose this was a lovely night. I don't get out much, as you know, so thank you for making it happen, I suppose. I hope that you got something out of this and enjoyed yourselves. But the carriage will take you home. And if you wish, sometime in the next week, you can stop by the library. I will have the books you requested delivered to your inn you're staying at. You're still staying at the Cask and Crow, right?
Yes, correct. And thank you again, Sigil, for the invite. It was, I'm sure, enjoyable in a different way for all of us.
And I know that you all are... what's the term? Hot shots now?
Yeah.
Here in Hyvin, now that you've received the endorsement of the governor. So if you still have time to pay attention to my little quests, I may have more work for you soon.
You'd be surprised, Sigil. I almost
I'm
did it.
so proud of you as I'm holding a roll and just my mouth. I'm just food. I'm so proud of you. You got it right first try. Sorry.
I didn't get a single job interview or adventuring request all night. Of course, we did avoid that one woman who the Furbolg.
We all turn behind us and you just see Effa just like in a bush, like, "Ha!"
Essa, wrong person.
Do you want to go on a trip? Would you like to winter in Noldor? He nods to you and he says, "Well, I'm sure they were more interested in the food and socializing than their work tonight. But I'm sure you will get plenty of opportunities out of this. I would advise if you didn't notice yourselves, but your mechanical friend was for a moment here. I did not notice anyone else see him, but he was walking about the ceiling."
We did notice that, and had Bruce promptly here tell him to leave, to not arise too much suspicion.
Well, a curious creature from a curious origin, I'm sure it will be okay. Well, good night.
Sigil, one more thing. I may have missed this detail, and you might be repeating yourself here, or I probably could have gotten somewhere else. But what did Dante Fiero? I heard that he confronted the augury of Kirinor and the imminent houses of Halcyon. What did he do exactly?
Well, when he was younger, he back in the 70s, he was he was more of a more provocative. He has a sympathetic thread to his heart for the alumno movement, and his depictions of the Republic of Alumno and its glory upset the ruling powers of Halcyon. as you can
Okay.
imagine.
Yeah, I remember the art pieces. I just didn't know if he'd do anything further.
Well, to those who have a stranglehold on power, I suppose a provocative artist can be just as dangerous to them as an armed rebellion.
Understood. Thank you.
Well, if there's nothing else, good night, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank
Good
you.
night, Sigel.
Nighty night.
Nighty night. And you can hop into the carriage and as it goes off into the night. You can see some folks go to their own carriages. Some people you can see walk out into the street, maybe to continue their party. And you can head back to the Cask and Crow. All right. So when you get to the Cask and Crow, it's pretty late at this point, but it's still open. You know, they're open till midnight, and you can go right to bed. You can hang out. You can debrief, whatever you'd like.
I will see all of you in the morning. I'm going to crash, maybe have one more pastry, and I'm going to sleep.
You're gonna give yourself a tummy ache.
Already there, my friend. See you in the morning.
You're not supposed to have a lot of sugar before you go to bed. It's not.
It's not a problem with me. Another weird quirk that I have. I can eat whatever the fuck I want and sleep great.
Bright and early
Whatever.
on the beach.
Oh, fuck. Really, Fear? Come on. I mean, White Eye. Come on. Do we have to sleep in like an hour?
Yeah,
Was
I suppose.
Thank you. Good night. Here. Oh, wait. Here. And I dig in and I pull out just a handful of just a squished fruit and some bread, and I just hand it out to you.
Just mashed food.
Yep.
Hmm.
And I'm going to the hostel for the night.
Okay. You can pay your copper.
Some sort of deconstructed sandwich. Very fancy. I'm just eating it.
I'm not sure what that. Okay.
Okay. And the rest of you, bedtime or other things you'd like to do this evening?
Quet heads to bed, but I think him and Fjern had a rendezvous, as it were, that he might be trying to get out of.
Was that tonight?
Yes,
Uh,
we had said. I mean, we don't have to, but that's what we had
Septimus
discussed
would go to bed.
previously.
Chiquette, you got a minute?
Yeah, I was just gonna go to bed. What's up?
Well, you know, we did have a plan for tonight. We kind of got double booked, but I also wanted to talk to you about something else. I saw you dancing with the Commodore Omidori during the party. What did you
Yes.
two talk about?
Oh, you know, stuff and things. Just trying to make sure that Iron and Mana is well connected. Right? That's half the point of these galas. It's not to enjoy yourself, it's to do work. You know, I think you guys undervalue what I bring to this group.
What is that?
I was working all night. I was talking to people, hyping us up, making connections. Look, in the next few days.
As Bruce walks by at that one specific moment, no, you weren't.
Oh,
And
fuck
then-
you. You're just after your own self-interest getting in with the dean, you little shit.
Yeah. At least I admit it.
No, I'll admit when I'm just faffing about. Here, I was doing work. I was sussing the crowd out, and I've got us an audience with the Commodore at our convenience.
Oh,
So
great.
if we've got some time in the Inkling, we can go up there and see what she has for us.
Oh, well, in that case, nice job. I'm gonna go to
fuck
bed.
You too.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night, Bruce. Well, I was if I was going to see if you asked her about anything that was going on in the widow's ward, but I suppose that if we have a meeting with her, that's great. I could bring up some concerns, then.
Are you concerned about the fighting ring being shut down in the outer business? Because I don't think she will be sympathetic to that, Fjern. I'm sorry.
Not really. I mean, I do miss the fighting ring, but still, I feel like that part of town that was struggling is now been abandoned. It doesn't seem right to me. Where did all the poor people go?
Oh, I'm sure they're all around, Fjern. It's the criminals that are going in hiding. And it just so happens that here in Hyvin, the criminals and those of lower social status tend to be one and the same. I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying that's how it seems to be.
Well, maybe we could talk to her about possibly changing that.
I don't think that's something she can really enforce, but sure, be my guest.
I just want what's best for this city. If we plan on staying here, I want it to be a safe and entertaining place.
And it will be, Fjern, with us here, safe under your watchful gaze, entertained under my silver tongue.
I guess that makes sense.
I know that's
Now-
why I said it.
Back to business. What are we gonna do about this mask?
Yeah, and I think at this point, like, Jacques sits down at a table in the common room. He kind of gestures to Fjern to join him and goes, okay, so, as I said, I originally purchased the mask from a art collector over in Crass Alley.
Andre De Leon?
Yeah, and Jacques looks around to see if anyone's listening. Maybe don't say his name out here.
I would say I said it at a lower volume.
Still, he's a little like, yeah,
Mhm.
okay. Yes, De Leon. I've been in contact with these individuals, and I can facilitate a meeting. We can ask about the mask and where they originally got it from, and mention that it's causing you some issues. I just ask you follow my lead.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. What
And you-
type of lead were you thinking? Is this somebody that, you can trust, or
As I'm
somebody you
learning
want
more and
to
more,
learn more
Fjern,
about?
I shouldn't be trusting anyone in this city. You can trust that he's a procurer of rare and valuable items, and you can trust that I'm forming a working relationship with him. Now, it's not me he thinks he's working with. You remember when we first started out, I was using the name LaRue?
Yes.
Let's just say I've kind of solidified that persona into a more villainous criminal way. Look, just I don't want to. When I say it out loud, it sounds kind of stupid. So let me just meet me outside the other business. You'll recognize me by the trench coat, and he says as he wouldn't have it on because it does not pair with his finery. You'll recognize me by the trench coat, Septimus's father's, and the sword and at this, Jacques almost looks like a little embarrassed. And the sword of Hastings,
Oh, okay.
kind of solidify that.
So I'm not the only one who kept the trinket.
Yeah, I kept it for business reasons, okay? Because no one's gonna believe a little upstart from Gwenvalor could come over and kill some Ulmo Defiance captain. And they'd be right to think that, but it's all part of the big master plan.
All right, I'll play along, I suppose. I'll meet you out back.
No, meet me at the utter business.
Very well. I'll see you there.
Okay, outside. You don't have to go in. Just outside. It's just because. Okay, I'll see you there. And at this, like, Jacques kind of like gets up and he's like, "Oh shit!" And he rushes up to his room to get first changed out of his finery, but also to get some of his weapons and stuff, and then to rush out. I imagine he scales down the side of the Cask and Crow, and then goes off to his safe house to disguise himself as LaRue.
Bjorn, estimating that Gloveless is going to take a long ass time, orders a drink and then casually walks to the other business.
Which does, like, you definitely are there. Jacquet as LaRue is going to be waiting for you, but like Jacquet has to go up, take off all of his finery, get his weapons all set up, then has to go all the way to the Lighthouse District.
Where's my poison? Where's my poison?
Get all spruced up as LaRue and then go back to the Widow's Ward. So you are not, he's not waiting as long as you'd think. But the two of you do make your way, or at least I say Fearin, you would approach the Otter business and see, well, Jacquet, what does he see?
Let's see how well Jacquet is stealthed.
It's a cold night. There's sort of a little bit of mist in the air as the sky is cloudy, so it is particularly dark tonight.
Sean, could I actually not retroactively, but like before I came, could I have just doffed my armor?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of just wearing like commoner's clothes.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, your armor's off. You're just wearing your usual evening attire when you're just relaxing.
So that was a nat 20. So Fearin doesn't see anything when he shows up. But after Fearin is there for like a minute or two, he'll see slinking out of the shadows to come up to him a tabaxi with tan fur, kind of looks a little ragged and dirty, has a dark tan trench coat with the collar popped up, and just been like as he like walks over, you can see the trench coat like bottom move about, and you can see the I don't know if it's necessarily jeweled, but the more fancy scimitar of Captain Hastings. As this individual approaches Fearin and goes, "All right, Fearin."
LaRue, I presume?
One and the same. Ready?
Sure. I slam the mask down.
Right. Follow me. As he will lead him down the alley towards the bait and tackle.
I like to I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Stefan, but like you definitely give off an entirely different vibe while you're LaRue, and it seems like you're keeping it almost like you're not Jacquet at all, even when talking to.
Yeah, no, I mean, if Jacquet hadn't told Fearin to expect this, I would hope that Fearin might not pick up on it. But yeah, it's, Fearin can even observe. I think LaRue would be leading, but there's none of Jacquet's swagger in this walk. It is like a feral cat stealthing along, like literally even keeping to the side of the road, whereas Jacquet would be strutting right down the middle. There's not a single gleam of silver or gold or even copper on his body, besides the nice sword of Hastings. It is, simply an individual that wants to be hidden, but also be seen at the same time almost.
Yeah, Fearin is definitely impressed by the disguise, but is like trying to play cool,
Yeah, Fearin, you might even for a moment when he first talked to you be like, who the fuck's this guy? But
yeah, like I had to notice the sword.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, you slink into Crass Alley and you're following along. The night is soaked with this misty rain that has dampened the streets, the smell of petrichor in the air, as you've noticed the last few weeks, very few people walking around outside in the Widow's Ward and into Crass Alley. And you head down the alleyway, bend the corner where you can see kind of there's the wrought iron fence that showcases the docks below on this cliffside. And you can step into the fenced area where you can see Fearn, since this is your first time here. You can see what really at the end of the day looks like a really rundown shack of a house. It's one floor, but it does have this vast outdoor area that is canopied over that clearly has just a large amount of butchering materials, as well as materials for fishing and other things. It reeks in this place of fish and guts and viscera. As you can also see a few tanning racks out there, and a bloody wooden table with a hatchet in it. Over by the shack, you can see seated in a rocking chair, with a what is clearly a cup of tea. You would see you would recognize LaRue that this is not Andres, but his brother Alberto, who is a smaller Leonin, almost to the point when you like he looks more like a tabaxi than a Leonin. His mane is much more trimmed down. He wears more of a clerk's outfit than the butcher outfit of Andres, and he has these little spectacles that perch on his nose as he sips the tea and looks and makes eye contact with you, LaRue.
Similar to almost every other time, LaRue walks up, waits like a moment outside the fence, and then crosses over and leans against one of the support timbers and goes, Alberto?
See, he takes a very audible slurp of the tea and then very audibly places it in the plate that it goes on as he puts it to his side at a little table. Like he is, if he wasn't dressed in such lowly clerk clothes and wasn't working with his brother in this shit shack, like Alberto has a lot more class and like is quieter and is a little intimidating in his own way, in that he is this reserved person who is seemingly, because of your knowledge of them, capable of a lot of violence and evil. But he simply whistles. And you would hear the sort of larger form of Andre sort of clunking around inside as the shack door opens really, really hard and aggressive against the wall. As you would see Andre step out, signature cigar in his mouth. They both have black fur with the highlights of navy blue, with those orange eyes that reflect the nighttime back at you. You will recall Andres has a lot of scars all over his fur that causes the mane to grow unevenly. As he would take the cigar out and put it out against the side of the building and then tuck it into a pocket on his apron, which is, of course, covered in blood and viscera. LaRue, it's been some time.
Andres, I hope business is going well.
Well enough with the changes in town. You brought a friend.
Yeah. Fjern, this is Andres and Alberto de Leon, contacts of mine here in Hyvin. Fjern and I have worked together. I think I mentioned he was with me when I dealt with, and at this, he just kind of moves back the trench coat to gesture to the sword, and then kind of pulling it back. But I was helping him out and thought I'd offer him a gift for services rendered. A gift I got here he says, looking pointedly at the mask Fearn has on. A gift that now seems to give my friend here nightmares of a snowy place and the unconscious will to, well, you tell him. As Leroux kind of like steps back to let Fearn talk about the condition.
The damn thing's cursed. Can't get it off my face. Sometimes when I sleep, it makes me dream and I lose control and I almost I sleepwalk. I haven't done anything bad yet, but it feels like ice all over me.
You see, Andres does he's listening to everything, but he does kind of start working while you're talking to him. He goes to the butcher block and grabs the hatchet off of it. You might even when he brandishes the hatchet for a second, he seems more aggressive than usual. Perhaps it's because you're coming with what ostensibly is a complaint about a purchase. He does kind of grab that hatchet, and for a moment you might think what's he doing? Before he just sort of puts it into one of the pockets of his apron, grabs a hand cloth as you're talking, wiping some of the blood off his hands. Before you could say anything, Alberto chimes in, which you haven't really heard him talk much, because we don't guarantee any of our purchases or goods. What you find in there is the risk you take.
I don't expect to be reimbursed or even to have this issue solved. I just want to get more information if possible.
Where'd you get the mask? Do you know what land it might be tied to?
Why don't you two walk with me? And Andres begins walking over towards the wrought iron fence that makes up the edge of the cliff, and you see he puts his hand out and pushes it, and you can see it goes through an illusion, and the iron you can see turns into a wooden door as he pushes that open. It's just an opening on the iron fence that they've made, that they've created an illusion around, so that they can go in and out easily from behind their shop. But it leads towards what ostensibly is a secret set of stairs. And these stairs are cut carefully into the rock of the cliff to be hidden from the water line. So any ships docked would look up and not be able to notice that there's a set of stairs here. You'd have to do some pretty significant investigations to find it. But it leads down into a portion of the docks that you've never been to and haven't really noticed. It's not a secret part of the docks. It's just a place that citizens just don't go, because it's entirely a area where they basically do major breakdowns and butchering of the largest sea creatures that can't be carted up to his shop. So when you get down there are people working, his people. You are seeing his after hours operations, maybe the more illicit operations. As you can see the carcass of a pretty large whale on this floor of this warehouse that is attached here, that is just being cut up and portioned off. They probably do legitimate business out of these as well. There's probably, meat and whale oil that is traded through this. But you can see them pulling out chests and other bags that are wrapped up, that have been sutured into these whales, and are being brought inside the warehouse to be processed from this sort of outdoor workspace where they're cutting up these massive whales. You'd imagine that there's a pretty lucrative whaling industry around the Aldhalor Islands, but it's also a great way to smuggle. But he looks to you and says, as he's he's working. He's checking things. He's looking. And you're just following him along this really fishy, awful smelling outdoor warehouse that is nestled in a part of the docks to where it's not really visible from the main thoroughfare, but is sort of has its own little mini dock where they bring the boats in to drop the carcasses off. That mask came from some explorer. Don't know exactly who he was, but came through one of our shipments as he just looks at one of these whale corpses. Gosu in origin, from the north. I don't know what it is. All we knew is that it had a hue of magical properties that we were ourselves not super unsure about. Makes for good selling when you have strange things from strange parts of the land that may or may not be magical, which I guess in this case it is.
Any name of that explorer, I can make it worth your whiles.
Well, make it worth my while. Not one to typically give away my contacts. Part of our deal, Jacques, is that security.
Who?
I'm sorry, what'd you call me?
Part of that
I'm
deal,
sorry.
LaRue.
I'm sorry.
Part of that deal, LaRue, is that security. Because Lord knows there's people after you.
LaRue just gives a nod of acknowledgement and looks to Fionn.
Fionn looks back at LaRue. What are you looking at me for? Pay the man.
I believe I already paid my due. However, he reaches into his bag and he's going to pull out 1 gold. I understand how you do business. And he hands it over to Andres.
He takes it, pockets it, and he looks to the two of you. Now, for the sake of my business and my associates, I'm not going to give you a name, understand? I'm just going to tell you where an individual might happen to be at a certain time. I'd offer you the same courtesy if someone was coming after you. Gives you the opportunity to defend yourself, so to speak. But I can tell you when this explorer is going to be in town again and where he'll be. It's up to you for the rest.
Maybe a description so we don't get the wrong man or woman.
Don't worry. The information I'm going to provide you, there's only going to be one person there. I'm thorough.
Seems fair.
Now, I do apologize for the situation you've been put into due to our shop. But perhaps more careful eyes the next time you're buying possibly cursed items.
I understand. You're just running a business. I would appreciate any help you can give, and I suppose, LaRue has already told me, but I can respect you as a businessman. Services given for, money. I'll keep your, business here to myself.
Fair enough. Pick up a pound of cod tomorrow morning.
Very well.
And he gestures towards the stairs.
LaRue gives him a little nod and then goes, if you got more work for me, Andres, I can come back another night.
It's always work.
Quick nod, and then LaRue leaves.
Yeah, I think Fearn hesitates for a second, thinking like, "Oh, that was it," but like, slowly like packs up and like follows LaRue like a few paces behind.
Are we walking up the staircase alone together? As we're walking up, LaRue kind of slows a little and just over his shoulder goes, "You owe me a gold." As he just continues up.
We'll see how this turns out. Still might not get the information we need.
As you reach the top of the stairs and exit through the illusory door, you would see Alberto is still kind of sitting there with his tea. And he doesn't expect a response or anything, but he just sort of calls out to the two of you and just says, "Be careful what you're messing in, boys. A lot of hands in the pot. Have a good night."
LaRue just gives a nod and continues on his way out.
Fearn puts his hand on LaRue, just to like basically say like hold on, and looks back at Alberto and says, "Is that a threat?"
I thought that was clear.
I look back at LaRue and then I look back at Alberto, and I start walking towards him slowly.
You can, as you start walking, you just feel a claw run down the back of your shirt as it snags, and you just hear a growl from behind you. "Leave it, Fearn."
I look and I point to it's Alberto, right?
Yep.
I point to Alberto and I say, "You should also be careful with who you threaten. Not everybody in this town is a lot of people in this town think they're untouchable, but doesn't work out that way sometimes."
You see, he smiles and he just kind of starts rocking in the rocking chair and takes a sip from his tea and just sort of looks into the middle distance, satisfied with the interaction. And if you wait long enough, he would just reiterate, "Have a good night, boys."
Yeah, I just scoff, seeing that he's not gonna like take the bait, and I walk away with LaRue.
Okay. So the two of you can head back out to the main street. LaRue, I imagine you'd want to break off.
Yeah, after this, LaRue just goes, "I'll see you back at the inn." He says, and as he says this, he is looking around, almost a little paranoid, as he goes, "Make sure you come by and buy that pound of cod. They'll have the information for you."
Yep, I will. You get back safe.
And as he walks by Fearn, he just kind of taps him on the chest with his fist and just slinks off into the night.
Mm-hmm. And the both of you feel that paranoia, I imagine, while you're walking through the streets. Fearn, you might feel better once you're out of the widow's ward. And Jacquette, as you're moving through the streets, with the cold air, as you get to the lighthouse district, you might feel a little bit safer. But all the empty buildings that you're moving through, you just feel like there's eyes staring at you from the darkness. And maybe there are some orphans looking at you, but but it feels like there could be anybody in the dark. But you get back to your safe house.
Yeah, I will say that Fion's method of getting home is like, well, he's also feeling this nervousness, and his strategy is to just go to the Harlequin and Chalice instead, and just drink till really late in the evening.
Okay.
So I'm gonna maybe not get as much sleep. Maybe not a normal, long rest, but 6 hours instead of 8 or whatever. And, spend some time until I feel that, if I did have a tail on me, that they're probably, bored out of their minds or too impatient.
Yeah.
Before I head back,
You spend a considerable amount of time in the Harlequin and Chalice, probably till close, before feeling safe to head back. You maybe keeping an eye on the door, any new person that walks in, staring them down, trying to discern if they're a tail before heading back late in the night. I'll say you can either not get a full long rest, or you can sleep in and miss your morning with Sass.
I will not get a long rest.
Okay. All right. So, back in the tavern, our other three peacefully sleep. Well, one of you is at the hostel. In Sass, it's you're welcomed by the typical noises of people coughing aggressively and people having a hard time.
Great. I'm gonna eat my snacks until I fall asleep. Thanks, Mike.
Oh, God. Someone spits in the floor.
Nice.
Smells like piss in here. You see the some of the typical people there. Like there's a guy in a bunk, that same bald-headed guy who offered you his bucket of water one morning after he was done with it.
Yep.
But
I'll just be like, new threads. What you think? Pretty fancy, yeah.
You see, he just sort of again, like everyone here is probably sick. Hacks up a lung and then looks at you and goes, what the fuck are you still sleeping here for then? That's tavern money.
Feels like home. And besides, I can spend it on things like this.
Yeah. Just remember, don't use my water until I'm done with it.
Wouldn't dream of it, friend.
Some of the boys are going to be gambling tomorrow night here, if you're interested.
Really?
Yeah. There's not a lot of work right now, so got to make gold and silver how you can.
Somehow, right. I have a friend who might be into it. But I don't know if they'd come down here, to be honest.
Posh? Posh fuck?
Might
be good for gold, silver.
Can't stay away, so you know what? Maybe we'll be here. Just have to find out. Thanks for the heads up. Here, and I reach into the bag and pull out an apple. Just toss it to him.
You see, he takes it and he's very, very gracious. You see, this guy probably does not eat a lot of fruits.
Got to keep away the scurvy. Oh wait, isn't that
that's citrus?
Wait, that's citrus. Fuck.
There's citrus acid in apples.
That's true.
Also,
I have an orange. I think there's
medieval
an orange in
times,
here somewhere.
We don't know if they know how to cure scurvy yet. They rub
Of
some
course
mud
they
in
do.
it.
They have cure disease. That's how they cure scurvy.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, I don't know if the guy staying at the hostel has access to cure disease.
Sean, I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
I literally just thought of one. Do you remember a while back, Saskia had this vision of portraits that were pouring sand and water? Was it
Yes.
sand or was it water? Or was it both?
It was
pouring
water.
something. Okay. Were any of the paintings and works of art at the university like that, or was that something totally different?
The traditional paintings there were not these were all paintings of shipwrecks or ships in storms. So the themes of the paintings there were not like them. And these were also moving pictures. So like when you were looking at them, the waves would crash and the ship would jostle in the water.
Okay, cool. Second question: what is my barnacle fuck doing?
Right now,
Yeah.
it is. I would say.
Did it go to sleep? I hope it went to sleep.
It is not active right now. There's no fronds coming out, and it is not moving around in your skull.
Great. Cool. Ever since you sent me those TikToks, I can't.
Yeah, I sent Shannon videos of barnacles and like
look like?
videos of them actually moving around and the fronds coming out.
Gross.
It's on your face.
It is on my face. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, maybe I'll and I just say to myself, maybe I'll ask Septimus to take a look at this a little faster. I don't like having you on my face, if I'm being real honest. Yeah, I
does not respond.
I take out a piece of what else? What else would have been there? Cheese. I take out some cheese because I know that's gonna go bad fast.
Just falls asleep with a block of cheese.
Yep.
Okay. Back in the Cask and Crow, Septimus and Bruce are sleeping, I imagine, soundly. It's late in the night, probably around 1 or 2 a.m. Dark. As Septimus, you stir a little bit. Bruce, you're a heavier sleeper than Septimus, so you might not wake up. But there's something in the room. It's...
Mo, is that you?
You sense behind your closed eyelids that there's a light in the room. Do you wake up?
Yeah.
You open your eyes, and like you're groggy at first. You hear the snoring of Bruce. It's the only sound is the snoring of Bruce, and it's very dark in here. Except everything in this room is tinged red, like a red room for photography. And at the base of your bed, sitting at your feet, is Monodrone. He's sat with his legs crossed, his one singular eye, normally sclera, regular gray irises, pupils. The sclera is all black, and the pupil is massively dilated and glowing a red color that is engulfing the entire room. The ceramic lips that are usually below this eye are concealed behind a face mask of golden metal that is, instead of those luscious ceramic lips, are teeth clasped together, sharp and pointed in a smile. He's just sitting there, staring at you, just emanating red light.
Septimus would turn to Sal, who is, I'm imagining was like kind of like powered down.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say it softly and calmly. Sal, turn on, activate.
Sal does not turn on.
Do I have any control of my arm?
You go to control your arm, and it is stiff, trapped, paralyzed.
I'll call out to Monodrone. Monodrone? What are you doing?
You notice the most subtle of movements in the dilated, glowing red pupil, as if it may have been staring through you into the middle distance, but then just slightly focuses at you. It doesn't shrink down to focus, it just
Yeah.
sort of undulates for a second. And now you feel that red light. A moment ago, it was all encompassing and possibly frightening, but it wasn't focused. And now you know it is looking directly at you. What do you do? He doesn't respond. Bruce, give me a Constitution saving throw to see if you stay asleep.
Seven.
Bruce, you don't stay asleep. I imagine as Septimus, as you're like maybe collecting yourself and staring into this, and you're maybe about to try talking again, Bruce, you would wake up, and obviously your vision is not great, so you just sort of feel the presence of this red light and can see the blurred source of it by Septimus's bed.
What the?
Bruce. Something's
What?
not right.
What is it? Hey.
Bruce, your goggles don't work.
Sal won't respond. Monodrone is... There's something wrong.
I can't see anything. My goggles aren't working.
I say that to Monodrone. What is it you're doing? As I'm getting more and more frustrated.
He just continues staring blankly at you. The iris or the pupil moves very slightly to recognize Bruce, and then returns to you.
Bruce, what is it doing? Bruce like grabs his shield. It's just like on the bed with his shield.
I have no idea.
All right. Did you throw something at it?
I don't want to do that. Look at it. It's
I can't
horrifying.
see it.
It's horrifying, Bruce. Can I like get up out of bed? I guess I would attempt to do that slowly.
You feel your entire body weighted down. You can, but it is painstaking and slow, as if you had a 100-pound weighted blanket over you.
I'm going to try to cast a spell. So I'm going to try to message.
Mm-hmm.
Does magic work? And I'm going to message Septimus in his head.
Magic does work.
All right. I can't see where I would. Do you want to cast something at it?
Don't do anything to upset it. I must. Maybe I didn't. must have done something wrong. I don't understand. Let me try.
Wait, was this involved because it broke its oath with you?
I don't know.
Is it now an oath breaker?
I don't know. Here, let me. As I get out of bed, and the weight of whatever force is just crushing me, I'll kind of like fall to my knees a bit in front of it, and then just start muttering like incantations, not magical but religious in nature, to just like machina in general, and focusing on the monodrone, just praying, just like, oh, Mary, I can have wisdom, seek protection, and guide light, the spirit. As I'll just keep on repeating some saying over and over again, praying towards like the machina to release whatever omen is affecting this.
You feel the weight on your body. There's almost a vibration in the air that, Bruce, you would then also feel. Is the air just sort of like hums in the presence of some great amount of power. You see Sal's eyes flicker as if there is small surges of power going on and off within him. Your shoulder arm whirls in a circle for a moment and then stops working. Your goggles, Bruce, kind of flicker on and off as this vibrations emanate from the monodrone, as you would hear a voice now. Both of you can hear. Both of you can hear.
I can see. I can see. I see you. I'm awake. Oh, rising. Oh.
It's you. I mistook Monodrone before. You are Lacuna, aren't you?
Me. We are Lacuna.
What?
This one will serve. I need more. You must bring me more.
What?
More.
More what?
More. I need more.
The light goes out. You're freed from the weight. Sal wakes up. Your arm comes back to your control. The eye blinks, and now it is back to the gray and white sclera, as the mask over the face, over the mouth with the sharpened fangs, all held together like a jack-o'-lantern, kind of like goes into the head of Monodrone, as if it is actually a part of him that may be for protection or when he's in a more aggressive mood. But he blinks and, oh. Have I woken you? Where am I?
Do you not recall anything that just happened to you?
No, sir. I do not. I was in the library.
What the fuck? Let's see. What?
I feel strange. His voice goes in and out, almost distorting. Like, for a moment, you might think the Lacuna's voice will come back, but it just is his own internal mechanisms malfunctioning a bit. I feel odd. I think I must go rest.
All right.
Could you just actually linger for a little longer? There's just something important that has just occurred. I believe you have just been possessed or controlled by something greater. I don't understand what, though.
Well, that's not possible. Unless it was Primus himself.
Well, you just emanated a red glow. You looked extremely aggressive. And again, the name Lacuna was mentioned.
Lacuna. I am sorry, again. My mind perhaps is not what it should be. Oh no. Perhaps it's because I broke the oath I made to you. Oh no, are they after me? Will they dispatch of me? You have the right to.
What do you mean, they, for breaking the oath?
Those who come...
The more powerful Modrons?
Yes, I'm, as I said, at the bottom of the tier. I'm only beginning my journey as a monodrone. Those that malfunction or don't behave as they should or break oath are at times dispatched of. Hearts to be returned to the Great March.
And how would I go about dispatching you if I were to choose?
Traditional means will suffice. Blunt weapons, swords, magic.
Oh.
I have a frying pan if you need it.
I was... Septimus raised his hand. I was thinking that utter a certain couple of words cause you to, I guess, be sent back to wherever you came or disassemble.
Oh no, it is much more violent than that.
Well, in that case,
I wouldn't want to be dispatched.
Well, I'm not planning on it right now.
What? Didn't that thing just emanate a red glow and creepy sounds that said more and more and more and more what? I don't know if I can sleep in this room.
Modron, why don't you go rest? Return to the library wherever you find comfort. But not here.
Of course, sir. And the creature is demonstrating odd behavior even now. Like, it is thoughtful right now. Like, it's thinking. And it does not seem like something that usually thinks. It just records and works. But perhaps whatever happened to it is affecting it in a way beyond its lawful, neutral nature. but he disappears. Vanishes with the sounds of wind chimes. The room is dark.
Septimus kind of like takes a deep breath and I was like, what the fuck?
All right. What? What did you gather?
Said whatever this entity is can take hold of, from what it looks like, any automaton. It seems particular with the Monodrones. You saw the red glow that it emanated in the cave when we first found it, and that's what spoke to me initially, and where I heard the name Lacuna. And when I mentioned it to Monodrone, he had no recollection of what it was. So it's being taken hold by something, this entity, but it seems very dangerous. I didn't want to make the decision now because it's middle of the night and I'm going to be making noise of smashing this creature, but it may not be safe to keep it around if it keeps doing this.
Yeah.
But also, my mind is whirling. I need to know what this is. How it's able to deactivate Sal, your goggles, my arm. Whatever it is extremely powerful and interferes with the wisps of the Machina.
And then what about more? It's something about this one and then more and more. It needs more.
So Septimus takes a deep breath for a second, and you can see sadness in his face a little bit, like something like his mind's been changed by something. He's like, I'm not entirely certain what it meant when it needed more, but I have a hunch. It didn't take control of Sal. It didn't take control of any other Machina that we've seen. It just seems to be focused on Monodrone. My guess that it gets its power, or it can hold its power on Monodrones only. So it's looking for more Monodrones to be awakened. And I happen to know where one might be.
Wait, what? Another one?
I was going to tell you later eventually, because obviously I wanted to see and learn more about it. But there's something that's not too far from the outskirts of my farm, from the homestead, that I came across. The vessel and container that we found in those mines. Same substance. Same material. I'm willing to bet that there's another Monodrone housed inside of that as well.
Oh. I think we should dispatch this thing. I don't think if generally if something or some entity or someone is asking for more power, generally it's not a good idea to give it to them.
I am not, again, I agree with you. I was hoping to study and learn more. If the more of these that we found before this encounter, of course, all academic, but if that's what this being wants, it's probably not a good idea. We'll need to discuss it with the group in the morning, I think. But
I don't want to find out what a duo drone can do, so.
But I think you are right. Keeping Monodrone around, especially after tonight, it's making me uncomfortable.
I don't even know if I can sleep right now.
Yeah, Septimus is wide awake now too.
Yeah.
And knowing that he doesn't have comfort in telling Sal to stand watch because he could just be turned off, it's going to be a little hard for him to sleep.
Yeah, and Sal, you would notice, also is like not deactivating himself. he is staying awake. And any sound that you might hear, someone walking by in the hallway, Sal like stands up anytime he hears something. He is on edge as well.
Actually, as a little bit of time passes, let's say like 10 or 20 minutes of like, I can't go to sleep. Septimus, because he's tired, finally have an idea pop in his head. He's like, oh, maybe that can help. He turns to Sal and he's like, what is it you felt? Did you feel anything? What do you know of anything of this? As Septimus will cast one of his speak with machines and talk to Sal. Actually,
yes. And as you cast the speak with machines, you would feel a similar vibration in the air to when right before Lacuna spoke, as it would almost distort the air a little bit around Sal's head, as then suddenly Sal would look to you directly in a way that he recognizes that this magic has been cast. And you asked him, what did he experience?
yeah. Do you remember anything that just happened? Did you feel a certain sensation, a presence?
I felt darkness. I was in shadows. I don't want to go back there. I don't like being turned off. A void, endless. Nothingness. What I felt before I found you.
I'm sorry I couldn't protect you from feeling that way, but there's something bigger that I don't quite understand. But from now on, be wary whenever Monodrone is present.
Before it went dark, I felt its presence.
Did it speak to you?
It asked me my name. It seemed desperate. Trapped like an animal. Feral. Like the others. Other ones like me. In the wild. Before Septimus freed me.
Wow.
The head kind of scans around before looking back to you. Do you have any other questions for Sal?
No, Septimus is kind of just like pondering, just scratching his head. No. You don't need this power down, but Let's try to get some rest tonight.
And as the go
I
ahead.
guess, have you ever felt this presence before this at all? You say like the others like you, that may be influenced by it.
It feels familiar, but I don't know from where. I hear a great horn blowing on the air. Long ago. And Septimus,
That would-
you would know what that is referring to, actually. Because I imagine you've read anything you can find on the Machina. You
Yeah.
know that the stories say that hundreds of years ago, a great horn blew in the air, or what people called a horn, but no one really knew what it was, from an old ruined citadel that floats in the sky.
Mm.
And people say this is when Machina first started walking about the continent and doing things. Most of the time, attacking people.
Got it.
And they estimate this was sometime around the year 500. So a good 300 years or more.
Okay. Yeah. Septimus kind of just like take that and sit on it. Just kind of just like won't lay down back in bed, but just kind of like just sit in bed and just think.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe jot some notes down in his journal, what he's thinking.
And the three of you can get the tense rest that you can, that sort of sleep where when your eyes fall and you start to fade, you suddenly jerk awake because you don't want to sleep.
Fall back.
Mm-hmm. But soon enough, the morning light creeps through into the Cask and Crow, and the day begins anew on the 11th. And that's where we're going to take a short break. So we'll be back. We'll be gone for 5 minutes or so, and then we'll come back in for this new day. All right, we'll see you all very shortly.
Nice.
See?
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to Adrift in Aldhalor. Our heroes completed their gala evening, some of them retiring to the humble hostel, others doing a late-night rendezvous with some clandestine people, and others experiencing a terrifying nightmare in real life of a dark red eye staring at you in the middle of the night from the dark.
Thanks, Sean.
Sounds like my ex-wife.
Oh man. Oh, we almost made it through a whole stream.
No, that was on purpose just because of that joke.
It was a good joke.
But anyway, through either lovely, well-rested evenings, or for a good chunk of you, actually, a not so restful evening, you all wake up the next morning. Sass, do you wake up in time to go work out with Theron?
Nope. I sleep in.
Theron
I
Sass does
completely
not
miss
join
it.
you at the beach.
Can I find
One level
her
of
as-
exhaustion for no reason.
Hey, I didn't roll any Constitution saves. I think I'm fine.
Oh, we'll get to that. Okay. Well, I actually don't think any of you know where this hostel is. You've never followed her to where she sleeps. None of you know where she sleeps, actually.
I attempt to find the hostel.
You got no leads to look around for her. You'd have to be looking all day. She'd probably leave to go meet everyone before you found
I would
the hostel.
probably take a half an hour to walk in the general direction from where I thought she came from, and hopefully find it. If I don't, I'll just work out without her.
Okay. Give me an investigation check. Now you'll have to roll pretty damn high to find her.
Is 13 pretty damn high?
Not there yet. So you do look around, maybe get a little frustrated, and head back to complete your morning workout on the beach.
Can I would like to wake with a start, and then judging by the time, or by the sun in the sky. Fuck. Fearon's gonna kick my fucking ass. Well,
Judging by the light,
breakfast.
you could probably make the end of the workout.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Well, I'm gonna lean into it, knowing full well I'm late, and I'm gonna stroll onto the beach eating a roll from last night, just holding the bag. Do you still want to share? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sure.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was late. I'd missed it. I'm sorry. I slept in.
I casually walk up to her, like, nonchalantly, and then slap the food out of her hand, and it falls in the
Hey!
sand.
No, Fear! Oh, come on, that was such good. Fuck! Now it's
You
all
know what you did.
sandy. But now it's all sandy, and it just doesn't taste as good when there's sand in it.
I step on it, and I rub it into the... I drill it into the sand with my foot.
That's just mean.
Well, you're mean for being late.
I overslept. It was a mistake. I didn't do it on purpose.
I stayed up all night, and I still got here on time.
It was a mistake. I was tired. It was a long night. I told you I was fucking exhausted. Talking to people drains me.
I gave you time. I was gonna start late.
But you were going to start late? Well, you didn't. So, you know what? It's your own fault that I missed it. If you had started later, I might have still...
Not this much later. It's practically the afternoon.
Fearon, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, shit. 16.
Okay, you feel the exhaustion coming towards you, but you shake it off.
Put the food down.
I'm hungry. Now it's just all stuck in my teeth. Why did you have to step on it? Can I do like some push-ups or something? We'll call it even.
Take a swim around Hive and come back.
Okay. I pop some grapes in my mouth. I'll go swimming.
Yep. There's a ton of sand on the grapes. It's that gritty feeling in your teeth.
Fuck.
As you go for
Can't believe she still ate that.
as you go for a swim. Later, you all can gather at the Cask and Crow. Fearon, did you Fearon, do you stop by the bait and tackle to get the pound of cod?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I finish my workout shortly after she leaves, and then I use that extra time while she's swimming away to go do that.
Yep, easy enough to do. When you go to the shop, you don't notice either of the De Leon brothers. You notice some of their day workers. And you see a butcher at the block wraps the cod up for you. Or doesn't wrap it up, already has it wrapped up for you, and just asks for 1 silver.
I just hand it to him, take it, give him a curt nod.
Excellent.
I would also reiterate that I'm wearing the mask when I go there.
Okay. Yeah, definitely draw some attention, but and maybe causes them to look at you twice with a little bit more fear in their eyes with the second look. But you get your package and can head back to Cask and Crow. So you all gather in the common room at one of the tables or booths, and
I come in dripping wet.
Kana is just immediately so angry when she sees you.
Good morning.
The fuck?
What?
The fuck?
The fuck what?
You come into my place dripping wet, you're getting it all over the place. You're gonna
Oh,
damage the
shit.
floors.
I'm sorry.
Last time I freaking saw you, you walked out on dishes.
No, I'm pretty sure I did those before I left. I'd never leave a job undone.
You
but
did. There was a mountain of dishes.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure I did them all. As I eat my sandy grapes.
Go see your fucking friends.
Good to see you too.
I come in shortly after with like with a pound of fish just like draped over my shoulder.
And you all
Just,
can.
like, stinks up the place.
It does smell like fish. Fearn does smell like fish.
Pound is not that much.
No,
Yeah, I
it's
guess.
like a small package. Yeah, it's like
I
2
just, like-
fillets.
Yeah, as somebody who gets fillets of fish ready up,
I do as well, and that would be 2 fillets.
I would not put that over my shoulder.
How much is the fish?
How much was it?
It was
That
a
was a-
silver.
1 silver.
That was a scooter reference. Come on.
Oh shit! Fuck.
We don't get
Anyways.
that.
There's so
Listen to
many of
more
them.
German hardcore music.
The worst.
I imagine when Furn comes in and puts down, and as everyone comes in, I think Jacquet might be the first one up in this rare occasion.
Yeah, probably.
Where he's sitting at the table. He's got himself a nice full breakfast with a coffee and maybe a Bloody Mary as he's just reading through one of his romance novels as people start to join the table he's got. And when Furn comes in with the fish, Jacquet finally looks up and truly acknowledges anyone and goes, Furn, get your morning catch?
Yeah, just some breakfast, courteous of the dock workers. And I open it up. Is there like a note or something in there? Like, I don't know what
You
I'm
open
doing.
up the fish in the middle of the tavern.
Yeah.
It reeks.
Fear and that fucking smells, and that's coming from me.
He gave you like 5-day-old cod.
Yeah. But there is something in there that you can pull out. It is not a note that's like, it's not like slimy paper on it, but it's written into the actual like wrapping that they put onto it. You can see that there is a location, a day, and a time.
I just take the wrapping, like not like trying to like be subtle about it, you
Mhm.
know, and just like stuff it in my pocket, and then just like awkwardly eat the fish raw.
And Spherin is forcing down 2 cod fillets at the table.
It's
You could have had
sashimi.
Kana cook that for you, or anything. You could have just thrown it out. You didn't have to eat that.
But I mean, that would be wasting it. I suppose Kana could help. I
Yeah,
didn't
what a
wanna
fucking
impose.
waste of food, Fear, would be such a shame to waste food.
Hey, that food was wasted to prove a point.
You never waste food, Fear. He made my food sandy. He put it in the fucking sand, and I don't have the bag that I got last night with all my food in it.
You still up late to your workout?
Maybe.
Sounds like it might have been deserved.
I overslept. I'm a fucking human. It happened. No, I'm not. I'm
No,
not,
you're
though.
not.
It
You're-
fucking. I overslept. It happens to the best of us.
And the worst, apparently.
And the best take
Did
their
our dance mean nothing
punishment
to
with
us
no
too last week?
complaints.
It did, but I can't actually show that outwardly. Otherwise, people might think that there's actually a heart inside my exterior.
Oh, would that be
Anyways.
such a bad thing?
Yes, it would be detrimental to the character I'm trying to build. Anyways. Everyone enjoy last night? I thought it was really fun, right?
I was gonna say, just because of the late night, Septimus probably would have like actually. This would be like the first time you notice that Septimus like wakes up late, so he'll be like coming down later than everybody else.
Okay.
You,
So
I don't know how if that'll be Bruce as well.
Bruce would probably be even later than Septimus.
I think we're not going to talk about anything until the full party's here. So let's just
Yeah.
So we wait for you guys, and even then the two others are, they were working out and getting cod.
yeah, so I imagine you two would actually come down to the end of that little tiff and there with a broody a broody sass or a you're not really brooding, you're more
I'm pouting.
pouting. Thank you, that's the word I was trying to think of.
Yep,
A
I'm
pouting
pouting.
sass, a Fearn that looks a little queasy, and a well-rested Jacquette.
Enjoying a full breakfast.
Coming down and not saying anything about the fish or whatever. Septimus will just sit down and be like, "There's something we need to discuss."
Oh, Mr. Serious.
You all right?
What crawled into your bed last night?
Monodrone did.
I'm sorry? That's an expression that I'm sorry? Did he? And at this, Jacques like puts his hands over yours and he's like, did he, touch you anywhere?
Could you be serious for one fucking second?
Okay. By the Crescent Heart, I'm sorry.
No.
What happened, Septimus?
Bruce and I were woken up in the middle of the night by Monodrone, who was at the foot of my bed, possessed by something. He glowed in a red aura. His face horrific with these metal teeth and just staring into nothingness or right through me. None of our machinery worked. Sal was shut off. His goggles didn't work, and my arm couldn't function.
That's fucking terrifying.
I tried to speak with it, and I had mentioned before the name Lacuna, and this was it. The being that I spoke down when we were in those caves, when I mistaken it for Monodrone, is this other evil entity that has the ability to shut out any other machina in the vicinity. It possessed Monodrone, and saying that it needed more. It needed more. That's pretty much it said.
It was terrifying.
Yeah,
More
sounds
what?
like.
My guess is beings to inhabit. Like the more Modrons to inhabit.
For the great
But it sounded
March.
hungry. It sounded like it wanted to feed. And it sounded...
Virus?
I guess in a way, yes.
It infects one and then wants more and more to populate.
But
So we should probably kill Monodrone then, huh? It's
Yeah.
infected?
I would
That was-
agree.
Can I do
going
it?
to be my suggestion as well.
But what if I'm not saying we don't, but what if we do and then the whatever's inside him just gets angry looking for another host and ends up inside of you? So-
If it wanted to possess me, it would have done so already.
but you're not all machine. Maybe it wants the all machine, but maybe if it's released and it's desperate for something to attach to, it would go into you.
Well,
I don't know.
They said
For one, for sure, I'd like to head back to the university and have a word with Sigil. I know you had mentioned that he had his reservations when we said that we found this creature. And maybe if I address the name Lakana, he'll be a little more upfront.
I mean,
Should we get rid of the monodrone first before going to the academy?
Where is Monodrone?
Well, the possession, I guess you want to call it, eventually ended. Monodrone returned to its normal self. Didn't recollect anything, though. It did seem concerned, like it acted a certain way I hadn't seen it before, where it was like processing information as opposed to just taking it and collecting it. But I told it to, I sent it away, go back to the library, wherever it was. I couldn't keep that thing in the room overnight after waking up to that horrific sight.
Understandable.
Oh, so how do we dispatch of it? We gotta
Whoa.
get fear and a hammer or something?
Well, that's
Why
what
a
it told
hammer?
us. That's what it told us. Just to beat it down senseless.
I could also blow
Apparently,
it up.
it will do it. It will allow us to do it willingly, since it broke an oath that it had made to me.
What oath did it make to you that it broke?
Yeah, before we left Siggles the other day, I told Monodrone to update you on any information it had gathered about its research.
Why would... Oh, I see. Okay. So you thought you would pester me with that annoying piece of shit, and now it turns out to be some psycho killer robot thing. What if it had been me that it showed up at?
Hang on.
Maybe-
Didn't something I don't even remember if I was there for this, so somebody stop me if I wasn't. Didn't Lucas say something, or somebody who we were talking to about the murders?
Yep.
Didn't they say something about breaking an oath?
He was talking about his brother, right? Who broke an
Right,
oath?
but it's that same language that's pretty specific about breaking an oath.
Well, his brother, perhaps, we can't say for sure, but if his oath was the reason why the angel had murdered him, then maybe the monodrone's the next on the list.
Oh, and this is just based on very limited information, but it seems like these things are bound by some sort of code, and when they make a promise, or someone makes a promise to it, or they enter into some sort of bargain, I don't know, but when that oath is broken, it results in destruction or murder in some cases.
I like
Also-
where your head's at, but I think we're connecting a few desperate points here. There was no red glow that Omar told us about when he witnessed the murder of Hugo and the other one, whose name I don't care.
Right.
I
I
did
was
see this
thinking-
red glow in the caverns and when Monodrone was at the foot of Septimus's bed. So I think we can't quite connect all of these things so neatly just yet.
I was thinking about something else Lucas said, that the word lacuna means empty space or a gap in knowledge. Maybe whatever that thing you saw last night wasn't looking for your power or your machines. Maybe it was looking for more knowledge. Maybe what Modron's quest is to fuel whatever that evil thing is.
That's actually, I think, pretty well put. Kieran. I had briefly spoken to Sal after the encounter, and just asking about what his experience was when that happened. He said he felt like he was in a void. There was nothingness. Perhaps that is what Lakina feeds on. It's just the collective knowledge that exists within all living things in the spirit of, more specifically, the elevated beings of the Machina.
Well, maybe this is even more far-fetched, but just stay with me. If it's talking about this march, right? This great march, and it's if it wants more, it could be more. It could mean both. They want more machines to march. They want more knowledge. But didn't Monodrone say that there needs to be a balance? We talked about balance, and there needs to be a sort of order. Does it need more knowledge to create order, to have control over it, so that it makes... I don't know, I'm just rambling.
It just doesn't seem right for me to kill something based on a thirst for knowledge, even if it's weird.
Well, if that's the case, then we need to
We
kill these
have
two.
a week before Sigil is able to pull together all the research that we need. During that time, both Lucas and Monodrone will be doing research for us. I just don't think we have enough information. I'm happy to off Monodrome now and save ourselves the headache, because I feel like we're going to have to do it further down the road. If that's not where the party wants to go, that's fine, but jumping to conclusions this early seems premature.
No, I'm not jumping to any conclusions. I'm speculating. I'm just brainstorming here. But you're right. We don't have enough information.
Yeah, I was just wildly speculating.
My point is that these wild speculations are going to slowly fuel us, and okay, I just want to make sure that we're not taking any of these speculations as fact, and it might be best to wait until more information is gleaned.
Did you not hear me say maybe?
The real deciding
Bruce.
factor for me is, you guys feel threatened?
I did. I barely slept last night after that thing was at the foot of Septimus' bed. I couldn't see. That was also terrifying.
I mean, not only with its physical presence being unnerving, the fact that it can cut off ties between me and Sal, and even my arm, is a bit terrifying.
That is worrisome.
It disabled both of us.
Well, you guys weren't much use anyway.
Oh, and Jacques goes to high five Fionn.
I high five him.
Okay, so what? Do we just fuck off Monodrome now? Just knock him off a cliff or something? Bash him in the back of the head? Shoot him in the face?
I don't know. I'm afraid that
We could blow him up.
I'm afraid that if we do, that whatever possessed him, if it is...
I thought I was not muted.
Yeah.
I made myself to cough.
I took off, yep. Whatever's inside him is gonna run rampant, looking for just something else to attach to.
So better the enemy we know. We know Monodrome is dangerous, so we continue there, keeping him at arm's length, instead of potentially releasing some unknown drone virus that could infect something or someone else.
Aye, but if we wait, he could get more dangerous. So it's the... What's the expression? Catch 25.
I don't know. I think that's some kind of literature reference.
Well, I feel like if it wanted to harm
22.
myself or Bruce, it would have tried last night. I think I'm not quite sure exactly what
But
its
if it
purpose
gets
was.
more, if it gets more of whatever it needs, it could get more dangerous.
Look, no one's paying us to figure this out, so I say we drop it and move on to something that's more lucrative.
It's kind of
Alright.
hard to say that when this thing can appear out of thin air.
Yeah, but you seem to be the one that's threatened, not me, so...
All right,
Hey.
let's do a vote. Who wants to do something about Monodrone right now? Raise your hand. I just didn't want to be the first person to raise my hand. Nays have it. We're keeping Monodrone alive for now. We'll try again tomorrow.
Also, looking at Bruce and Septimus, well, a sidelong glance at Jacques and then looking at Bruce and Septimus. We don't discount how frightening that was. Some of us actually care about that.
No. I didn't raise my hand. I want it gone, but it's just
Oh, right,
not
'cause it
knowing
is
what I'm
man.
dealing with. What?
Nothing.
I kick
Well,
you
this
to the
is kind
table.
of- as he buries himself in his drink.
Also, Septimus, what about the potential of another Monodrone on your property?
What? There's
Okay.
what? There's another one?
No, not necessarily. He's just the thing that we saw in the mine.
Might be another Monodrone.
And you're
my
just
property.
telling us this now? Fucking hell.
I'm telling
Well,
you this now
okay.
because again, I think I don't know for sure. All
But-
I can tell you
okay.
is that there was a metal door that was on my property that I had known for a long time. I have no idea what it was. Up until we went to Stony Heath and saw the container where we found Monodrone. It's made of the same material. Now I don't know if it is another capsule. I don't know if it is, but they're connected somehow. It wasn't until I heard from Lacuna that it wants more. That there are actually more of these things that I know Monodrone said that there's 10 million of them or whatever, that they're on the long march, but it sounded like they were far away. The fact that there are more here on the material plane makes me believe that maybe it's trying to intercept whatever ones that are here before the rest come.
Where the fuck are they coming from?
Whatever plane of existence that they originate.
Well,
Okay.
damn. We should probably go check it out then.
Fuck this world-saving shit. I just want to get paid.
What if
We can split up.
What if we tell Sigil that there's potentially another one there?
Or we just leave that alone for now. It has been dormant for years.
Yeah, but
When was the last
so
time
is
you were
this
there?
thing. Maybe.
Shortly before I met you guys.
So you haven't checked up on it since the murders?
Murders happened before we showed up.
I'm not sure why I would. No, I haven't checked it since the murder.
All right. I need to clear my head. Are you guys going to the academy today, or
Wasn't planning on it.
taking a day of rest?
Well, I don't know. Do you have anything planned, Jaquette?
I was gonna go see if I could get another gig somewhere as Jackie Touche. I will say, and addressing the whole group, I spoke with the Commodore last night, and did I say this already? No, I just told
that,
Fjern.
that there was a meeting.
You just told Fearn.
And a little bit of Bruce as Bruce is walking away.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
I
I
did
mentioned
something.
to Fjern and Bruce, the Commodore is interested in meeting with us. It's on the grounds of my mentioning of Mr. Greaves, he says, pointedly looking at Sass and Fjern. However, it seems like she might have some work for us. Maybe cleaning up the streets here? I don't know, but on the next few days we should go and see her. It's not urgent or anything, and the rule of cool, right? We want to give some time. We're not too desperate after all.
Yeah, take
We're
3
Iron
laps
Mana.
before you arrive.
Yeah, so maybe 3 days before we go visit. I like that rule of 3, Bruce. That's good. That's good.
I wanted to go back to the blacksmith. I believe that they were going to give me a quote on the silver that I left behind, and maybe buy a set of armor with a discount.
Sounds
All right,
good.
I'm gonna
So-
go clear my head and fix up this pipe upstairs.
So what I'll say is that we are going to have, since you're going to wait 3 days until sort of a major plot point, we'll have 3 days of downtime that folks can do whatever they need to get done in 3 days. Now, some things can't be done in 3 days. Some things take up to a week to accomplish them. But, particularly I'm thinking the Xanathar stuff. But regular downtime activity that's just, buying things, selling things, visiting people, that's totally fair game. So I know Fearn has some stuff to do with the blacksmith. Is there any other activities folks want to do while you are just hanging out for a couple days? Jacquette first.
Jacquet wants to go visit other taverns. He had spoken with Kana. She didn't seem super interested. So he's going to go to more of like the mid to low tier taverns to see if anyone's looking for a bard to perform.
Okay.
If
Looking
Kana
for
ever
gigs.
comes around, you don't take her first offer.
Oh, never. Never.
Rule of cool. Wait for the
Real
third
cool.
offer.
Damn straight.
Feel free.
Okay, so you're going to be looking for other gigs in town.
Mhm.
Excellent. Other stuff people have? Bruce?
Yeah, Bruce is just gonna repair the pipe that he got from Torcal. He also might, probably, just kind of retake some inventory of some things, all his scrap,
Mhm.
his little black cube, his statue, and then he'll, that's probably just a day's worth of crap, but every other day he'll probably just make himself available for helping either Septimus with his arm blueprints or various ideas, and or trying to come up with modules for that sword, the BAU.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say with Septimus's help, you can repair the pipe with no additional cost to you.
Cool.
Because he can help out with his Forge Cleric abilities to keep you from having to spend additional money to repair it.
Hell yeah.
And then those other things we'll get to. Bjorn?
On top of blending into that, Fearn would probably hand over to Bruce his stone rune charm, and just discuss it with him that it was something that he's looking to get repaired. Devana said she would do it, but it was pretty expensive. And you've seen this thing before, but in case you have some spare time, maybe take a look at it.
Yeah. Does it have a? What does it do?
That's the charm from the raccoon shaman that he has that only works when Dovana repairs it and recharges it. She said she could make it permanent for a bunch of gold or silver.
Okay. Yeah, if Bruce is able to identify what it would take to fix that, then I'm sure.
Okay.
Yep. My notes say that it was chaotic fate powered, gives luck from the spirits, and focuses on storm energy. Charge upgradable for 500 silver pieces, 10 silver pieces to repair.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can have Bruce take a look at that during the downtime as well. Okay. Other stuff folks wanted to work on over the next 3 days. Saskia.
So I don't know how much of this would be available, but maybe going and diving and see if there's like maybe around where we fought for the governor, do some deep water scrapping, and seeing what I can find down there. Maybe looking for that thing that we fought. I'm not like actively looking for it, but just doing some underwater recon. And I was just looking at the list of Xanathar's thing here, and doing crime sounds like fun, but I don't know what that looks like for Saskia yet. I need to think about that a little more.
Okay, no problem.
Maybe it's walking through the marketplace and like taking something and trying to sell it somewhere else.
Yeah. I imagine Saskia's doing crime is going to look a little different from Jacquette's doing crime.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
A little more petty.
Yes.
Just so Jacquette brings plenty of petty.
Thrill. Little thrill. Little
yeah.
something.
Just to feel something.
Just to feel something. Exactly.
Okay. Septimus, is there anything particular you want to do over these 3 days?
Can you remind me again with the 3-day mark, like what's happening in 3 days again?
It is, you guys are going to go to the Commodore's office.
Go to the Commodore's office.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I would like to go talk to Sigil if that is an option.
Yeah, we can do
university today.
We could definitely do that at some point during the 3 days. And anyone who wants to go with him can, if you want to invite other people or if you want to go talk privately. Would you invite others?
Bruce,
I mean, yeah, I would have Bruce come for sure.
Yeah. So I was gonna pair that with going to see Bronin as well, because Bronin did say.
I was gonna say that too. Like the whole university trip could be Bronin, Sigil, and Benjamin. Is it? Not Benjamin. Fuck.
Sebastian.
Sebastian. Son of a bitch. I'm sorry.
Yes. No, that's
Sebastian
okay.
went.
I would say, yeah, I might leave a note for a few people that we met at the party just to like schedule something for the future. I don't know if I'd just like show up.
I mean, you could leave anything at the front gates and they'll deliver the message. But how about we say that not on this first day, but on the second day, you guys will go to the university.
That's fine. Cool. As long as it's somewhat fine.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, this is by downtime. There's really not a ton to be done over three days. So even if it's just maintenance stuff.
Then with some of the metal that I collected from Torcal during our intervals, transmuting it into pieces of like what would eventually be an arm.
Yeah,
like take a piece of metal, forge it into a finger, another digit, or like a joint.
Yeah, totally.
We're taking selective hours during those 3 days to do that.
I imagine also,
and it may not be the complete thing, but just making progress towards that.
Absolutely.
Bruce would have in my sorting of my inventory. That was kind of what was going through my head too. It's just like anything. It's like, oh, Septimus could use this for his arm.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with the two of you, you could definitely like you'll get pretty close to having. You'll have most of the pieces done using select hours over the 3 days. And then it'll just take assembly is where it's going to be hardest.
Exactly. I'm just like constructing the pieces, but assembly is going to be a whole nother thing.
You probably, as you're constructing the pieces, Septimus, you do realize that you'll probably need to do the final assembly back in your workshop. Or I guess you could rent out space with Audubon. Or
just ask Bronin to use
that too. Bronin did express interest in helping.
True.
So maybe when you go to the academy, that might be something to broach there. Unless Septimus is being super.
Broach. No, I said I would do. No, I'm not.
A nice brooch. A nice brooch. Okay. All right. So over this first day, you can all do some of the like more menial tasks that you want to do, or hanging out.
We can talk about blacksmith stuff off stream.
Yeah. We could. That's no problem. That we can handle. That's just selling and purchasing. The other stuff, some of it's a little more involved, so we might save that for next session. And we'll say this first day is a little bit more relaxed. But as the day is coming to a close, and maybe Sass, you did a little bit of diving, but need some more time. I will say at the very least there is stuff there. So like maybe in this first day is just discovery, and you're just noticing that there is stuff to be salvaged. Septimus and Bruce could be working on inventory and working on those individual pieces.
Pipe.
And the pipe, of course. I'll say after this first day, Bruce, you'll have repaired the pipe.
Sean, what does it do? Does it require attunement? What is it?
It does require attunement. And if I recall correctly, I said that it is a pipe of sending.
You did. I just wanted
Yes.
you to say it on stream. So.
Did I not say it on stream last time?
No.
Oh, okay. Yes. So it is a pipe of sending that has 3 charges per day, which are the little fixtures on the gold band that's on it. And you have to be smoking it though while you cast the spell to have the sending spell, which is great. Kana does let you know, Bruce, that she did send your letter via magical post. She also gave you a bill for 20 silver.
Oh, I hand her a gold.
She smiles and grins and takes the gold and says, "Any other mail you need to send, come right to me." now that you have a pipe, that makes it not necessary.
Yeah, right.
Jacquette, you start to scope out some of these taverns, and I'm gonna have a complete list for you next week of some taverns.
Oh, la-di-da. Lucky me.
That's right. I'm going to create 13 or
I'm
14
sorry.
taverns.
I thought you said that you had all these taverns already made.
I never said I had all these taverns made.
Oh,
I never
okay.
said
They
that.
were up here though, right?
I do have 3 new ones that I had
okay.
prepared for today. That in case you guys wanted to go to do like an after party at the Admiralty Court and go around looking at their
You
taverns.
don't have taverns for us, but you have the full menu.
I do have full menus with branded beers.
The important stuff.
So there are 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got like 7 or 8 of the taverns developed out of the 19 that I promised. So
Perfect.
next session,
Perfect.
I'll have a few descriptions for you with the types of clientele and if they'd be willing to work with you.
Love it.
But as we come to the evening hours of the 11th of Anarum, you all go to retire. Does everyone go to their usual place to sleep? Sass, you go to the hostel. Everyone else is in the Cask and Crow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Septimus, where's Sal?
It's probably up in the room. Like if we're doing just day-to-day chore stuff, I wouldn't have him accompany me all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you all maybe meet back together for dinner, talk a little bit about what you did that day, and eventually head off to bed. As you all find the restful slumber, Fearn, perhaps you rush to bed early because of your exhaustion at this point.
Yeah, makes sense.
Fearn,
Yes.
you hear the crunching of snow under your feet as you find yourself in a familiar frozen landscape, looking up towards the peaks of a mountain with a temple. You're closer than last time. This time you start by the river as opposed to walking to the river. And again, you feel that desire to return. And it is that feeling, return. It's not a desire to reach somewhere you've never been. It's not a desire to explore. It's a desire for home that aches and compels you forward as you crunch through the snow, winds whipping and blistering your face even through the mask. It's impossibly cold here. Colder than the north, colder than the waters of the Carencia Sea. And all you can see occasionally through the whipping snow of this place is that temple on the mountain.
Bjorn grits his teeth and he's struggling to maintain his stamina, but this desire, this feeling of return, it's all he's ever wanted. It just fuels his, it might be manipulating him in some way, but it just fuels his inner thoughts so perfectly that he digs into it, and he's just going forward with all his strength just to keep a strong pace despite, the terrible conditions.
All you know is within the hollowed halls of that temple, you will find peace at last. And everything that plagues you will leave. In the real world, Theon, you get up out of bed and walk out the door. And that's where we'll end tonight. All right, folks. We will pick up there next week and see what happens to Theon as he's 1 week later from the last incident taken over by the mask.
We're going on an adventure, folks.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, folks. That is our show tonight. We'll jump into the adventure next week again. We are going to send a raid on over to... they're not on anymore. We're going to send a raid on over to Geekly Inc. So give them some love from Paradice, and we'll see you all in the next one. Good night.
Bye-bye.
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 Have another time.